Going? Okay, I'm here talking with my friend Kevin. Kevin has agreed to talk to us about some of his issues as somebody with a disability. And I've talked to my brother Russell, who was born with eyesight problems, and a deaf man who was born that way. And I know that you have disabilities that were sustained from injuries, so you had to deal with having a disability later in life, and I'm just wondering how that might have been different for you.
Okay. Well, when you ask me that question, I think on what context are we talking? Are we talking emotionally or physically, or um, and how much truth is really involved in it?
Well, you can tell us whatever you feel like, but what I was thinking was emotionally, that's a huge adjustment. I mean, physically, yes, we can just say that you were in a severe accident, you got burnt, and you lost your hearing because of antibiotics, and that you have some mobility problems, and that was a lot to adjust to.
Okay. Well, right now, it's been a long road. Right now in my life, I think emotionally what overcomes me more so than anything is just having lost the ability to do the things that I want to do. There's a lot of physical pain anymore and fatigue,
Uh-huh.
and that's really been a challenge to deal with, like emotionally and spiritually.
You completely lost your hearing, is that correct?
Yeah, it's completely lost my hearing as a side effect to an overdose of antibiotics that I needed to treat infection. So while it saved my life, I lost my hearing in exchange for it.
And somewhere along the way, you decided to have a cochlear implant.
Right. I think that was offered to me in about 1991, and it has been a real gift. It's such a help over the struggle of trying to read lips alone, but of itself, it is more of an aid to lip reading than it is to hearing natural sound.
Right. For those people who have never seen somebody with a cochlear implant, we see your device?
Oh, yes. I'm wearing it right now.
And it's sort of magnetized to a piece of metal on your head. Is that correct?
Right. It's a two-part device. Half of it's implanted in the just above the ear, and there's a magnet on both parts of the device that make contact, and the sound is passed through the skin.
But on the other hand, while it's helpful, it's not really what you're used to, what we call normal hearing. You have to you learn to decipher what you were hearing when you got that device, right?
Right. This device helps pick up parts of speech, which again aids lip reading, but it isn't a normal sound. It sounds a lot like the old 1960s transmissions between NASA and Apollo, kind of a garbly type of electronic sound.
Interesting. When you're talking with other people who maybe aren't used to talking to somebody who has hearing loss, what would you like them to know to make it easier to communicate with you?
Speak slower. Look at me. Try to believe I have as much interest in hearing what you have to say as you should in my deciphering what you're saying.
Great. Well, can you think of anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. I noticed that you're focusing on my hearing loss. There were other injuries, and but I think in general, my response to that was the same. They are the ones that are most physically overcoming and challenging to deal with at this point in my life. That's all.
And your other problems are mobility, you have range of motion issues, and you have a lot of pain, and you still have some trouble with infections, right?
Right, I have a chronic open wound despite having undergone that recent surgery.
So what do you do to help you cope with these things?
it's difficult to stay. It's difficult to say. Whenever I get out of bed each morning, that helps.
That's a good answer.